Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday today. Ooh, we got a Nita Star in the house. We have Hill, Lynn, Mia Henderson. How are y'all doing today? Our house guests of the day, we have Thomas Buking. I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong, but I want to say Buking. Leah Cunningham, happy belated birthday. And of course, we have Rob and Sumner. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you all so much. And also, I just want to give a little friendly plug. Rob and Sumner have an amazing YouTube channel if you want to check them out. I can't remember the exact name. I want to say it's like Rob and Sumner Adventures. If you guys are here, drop the link and let us know the name of your channel. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you guys want to be house guests today, by the way, send us an email to madrosed@gmail.com and we will get you on the list. Just make sure you put house guest of the day in the subject line. All right. Have you all recovered from yesterday? I don't know if I have yet. It was quite a day. When we left off yesterday, they just had the power veto ceremony, and Mickey, Morgan, and Vince were up on the block. We had so much drama leading up to this ceremony because Lauren couldn't decide whether or not she was going to use the veto. Lauren, faced with the decision, get ready to watch a tennis match going back and forth because it's going to take a while for her to decide what she's going to do. Yeah, and if you guys want to hear more about the drama leading up to this ceremony, make sure you watch yesterday's spoiler if you haven't already seen it. So yeah, Lauren couldn't decide. Was she going to leave the nominations the same or was she going to use it on Vince? She wasn't considering using it on Morgan or Mickey, really only Vince. Keeping Vince is her main concern this week. She wants to make sure he's safe, and she had a lot of people telling her that if she left the nominations the same, Vince would have the votes to stay, and it would be easier to take out Morgan or Mickey. Neither of them would have the votes against Vince. And Keanu was telling her this, Kelly, Riley, Catherine, they were all telling her this, but the nominees, especially Vince, were pushing really hard for her to use it. I mean, Vince was nonstop with the campaigning for her to use it. So yesterday morning, before the ceremony, Lauren told Rachel she was thinking she wanted to use the veto. And Rachel was like, what? Why are you telling me this now? Like, I've had no time to talk to a potential replacement nominee. I've had no time to prepare for this. She's still trying to talk Lauren out of it. She wants Lauren to leave the nominations the same. But Lauren was assuming the replacement nominee would be Kelly. And Rachel straight up told her, it's not going to be Kelly. It's not going to be Keanu. I have to consider all options, even people that you are close to. Oop. So the feeds went down before the end of that conversation. We didn't get to hear everything else that was discussed between Rachel and Lauren leading up to the ceremony, but we're going to get into that a bit. So they had the POV ceremony. Lauren used the veto on Vince, and Rachel put up Riley in his place. Hey, queen stays the queen. So we have Riley versus Mickey versus Morgan up on the block. And I love this style of Big Brother when you just have three huge targets on the block. So no matter who goes, it's going to be a big move. It was very similar to what Ava did last week. So Rachel followed in her footsteps. She did the same. But the house was freaking shook by this move. They were not expecting Riley to go up on the block at all. Keanu was the most shook up by the move. Riley was like, I don't care. I'm going to win the blockbuster competition. I can't trust Rachel, that MFer anymore, blah, blah, blah. But Keanu was in disbelief. I mean, Rachel is supposed to be his number one. Riley is supposed to be his other number one. Why would Rachel do this? Riley is a part of the 6-person alliance that Keanu has been trying to pull together that none of the other people want to be in. Keanu is obsessed with this idea of pulling this alliance together. It's supposed to be him, Rachel, Riley, Catherine, Kelly, and Vince. But like, he's the only one really that wants it and is trying to make it happen. So he is not happy that Rachel put up one of those people. So Keanu and Rachel are chatting in the gym, and Keanu's asking Rachel, why did you do that? And Rachel says, I told Lauren, F around and find out. And unfortunately, I came to play Big Brother. Woo! We love to see it. So Keanu's like, I get that, but like, why would you do this? Why would you put Riley up this week? You know he has the votes to stay. So why are you making an enemy of him? And Rachel's like, he doesn't have the votes to stay. And Keanu's asking, who's going to vote against him? Who's voting him out? And Rachel says, everyone in that room. But she meant the HOH room where Will, Ashley, Mickey, and Morgan were all hanging out at the time. I don't think Ava was in there with them, but I think it was implied that she would be voting with that group. And Keanu's like, that's not enough. That's only 4 people. Like, you need 5 to do something this week. And Rachel's like, no, we're going to have the votes. She says, I'm sorry for disappointing you and making you upset. And Keanu says, it's fine. But I don't know why you would make that move again when he has the votes to stay. So Rachel says, well, if Riley makes it to the end of the game, he's going to win. And Keanu says, yeah, if the game ended right now, he would win. Ew, I don't understand why everyone in this house thinks that Riley is like the nicest, most amazing guy and they're all ready to like give him the money. I don't understand it. But Keanu says, even though he would win right now, the game does not win. The game does not end in week 6. I think my brain is broken. He says it's too early for this move. And Rachel says, it's never too early to make a big move. She says, learn that, take a tip. Amen. We need more people thinking like that in this house. It is never too early to make a big move like that. You got to strike when you can. So Rachel, again, is telling Keanu, Riley's got to go or he's going to win this whole thing. So she's telling him, you need to vote Riley out. And Keanu's like, no, I'm not voting Riley out. I won't do it. He says, Riley is my strongest ally other than you. So Rachel's also saying like, okay, so like more reason for me to take him out, right? He's got to go. She wants Keanu all to herself. She doesn't need him splitting his focus with Riley. So Rachel brings up how Riley has said to her face that he is not with Keanu. And Rachel says, I had you in mind when I made this move. I'm trying to look out for you. He literally told me that he would put you up if you won HOH. Sorry. Late nights. But she's saying, like, don't F with my people. I'm not going to allow that. I had to take action here. And I'm pretty sure that Riley has gone up to Rachel and said he's not with Keanu. He would nominate him. Do I think he would actually do that? Possibly. He's said it to many people that he's not with Keanu. It's really hard to say. I think, here's the thing. I don't think he would target Keanu right away. But I don't think he's like going to stick his neck out for Keanu. I don't think he's planning on going to the end with Keanu. But I don't think he's like an immediate target for Riley. So Keanu's like, well, are you with the people that are in the HOH room right now? Again, meaning Will, Ashley, Mickey, Morgan, Ava. Or are you with me? Because like, I'm certainly not with those people. And now I'm going to have to choose between you, one person, and my other 5 allies. But like, he doesn't actually have those other people. He doesn't have those 5 allies. He is convincing himself that they are working with him, but they would turn on him in a heartbeat. So Keanu is telling Rachel, we could have had the numbers. We could have just like sailed into the final 6. He's really thinking that this 6-person alliance is it. And like, it's not even happening. If it was a thing, it would be a thing by now. But Keanu is insisting that Riley is with him. And he tells Rachel, maybe he did say that to you. Maybe he did say that he's not with me, but he must have been lying to you to temperature check you to see what you would say. Keanu will say anything to just like avoid accepting the truth. But Rachel's like, well, if that's the case, he shouldn't have lied to me then, because look what happened. So Rachel is telling Keanu it's going to be good for both of our games if Riley goes. It really would, though. It would be great for their games. But there was some truly insane stuff in this conversation. Keanu was saying that Kelly would have rather gone up on the block this week instead of Riley going up. And he's like, yeah, Kelly has faith that we would have all voted for her to stay, just like we would have for Vince. And like, she could have won the blockbuster, but if she didn't, we had the votes to save her. And Kelly was pissed that Riley went up and not her. Who are these people? But I'm pretty sure that Kelly, one of her primary reasons for wanting to go up on the block was that she would have an easy excuse to put Rachel up in the future. She could just be like, oh, Rachel put me up, so I'm going to put her up. Because she really wants to target Rachel. So now she can't say that. I mean, you don't have to have like an excuse like that to put somebody up, but it does make it a lot easier to explain. So Keanu also in this conversation was trying to explain to Rachel how Big Brother works. Again, we have this person who not only is it his first time playing this game, he's trying to explain it to Rachel Riley. This is her third time on this show. She has won before. She's been on so many other reality competition shows, but also like Keanu's reads are so bad. Keanu's reads are so bad, and he's trying to explain how the game works to Rachel. But he's also telling Rachel, this is what you need to say to Riley. This is the only thing that you should be saying to Riley. Tell him that you put him up on the block because he is the most likable person in this house. And him being up there will guarantee that Mickey or Morgan go. You need to say that you couldn't trust that Vince would vote to keep Kelly over Mickey or Morgan. You need to say something like that. That's the only explanation that he will accept. And do not tell him that you're coming for him. So Rachel's like, I'm not coming for him. She says, I don't care who goes. Everyone's going to have to go. I mean, I do think that Riley is her target now. But I also think that she'd be fine with any of them leaving because they're all huge targets in this house. So Keanu says, I still think you're a complete psychopath, but I do respect your gameplay. I respect your legend. And they hug it out. They're joking around at the end of the conversation, but game-wise, they are not on the same page right now. Are Keanu and Rachel breaking up? I hope not. Why is it they get along for like 2 or 3 days at a time and then like disaster strikes and they break up again? I'm hoping they'll get back together, but we'll see. So Ava and Will were chatting in the wine room, and Ava has had enough of Vinny at this point. Let me see if water will help with my yawning. Ava is ticked off. She's tired of everybody's fakeness, but especially Vinny. So she says, congrats to Vinny the Lip for talking himself off the block yet again. She says, I'm happy for him. It takes skill to talk yourself off the block twice. Not just once, but twice. And she says, I applaud him. But the thing that annoys her is that Vinny will do that and show like he's obviously a very good talker. But then in the same breath, he's all, I'm Mr. so nervous and like, I can't talk to people. I can't do this. So Ava is sick of this little like act that he's trying to put on. She says, mother effer just got off the block 2 seconds ago and he's already hosting meetings like the GD Hogfather. Not the Hogfather. I'm guessing that the Hogfather was this season's OTEV character because it sounds like the thing that they had to retrieve for the veto competition was like little rats with names on them. So I guess it was like a mafia type theme. Hogfather. Okay. I'm with it. So yeah, Ava's calling Vinny the Hogfather. So Ava says she was this close to popping off on Vinny. She wanted to rip him a new one. Ooh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to see it. But Will tells Ava, just stay cool, stay level-headed. We don't need to be doing all that right now. And Ava's like, you're right, but like, I don't know how I'm gonna vote this week. I don't know who I'm gonna vote for because she has had like a soft spot for Riley. She's not feeling great about Mickey at this point. But she also doesn't want to like go against what Rachel wants. So she doesn't know what to do. And Will is telling her, like, we're going to figure it out. You got to vote with your heart. What about with your fart? But back to Rachel. She is now talking to Kelly in the HOH room. Which conversation do you think is more insane? When she was talking to Keanu or when she was talking to Kelly? Because Kelly is also like, I don't know what game she's playing, but Rachel says to Kelly, everyone told me to put you up on the block. And I didn't. And Kelly's like, I appreciate that. Does she? She doesn't seem too excited about it. She does not seem super happy about not being on the block. So Rachel says, I didn't put you up because I want to work with you. And she says, you did hurt my feelings with the whole Mickey situation. Remember, Rachel had told Kelly that she felt like Mickey was icing her out. And then Kelly took this back to Mickey. It got back to Rachel. So Rachel was wondering, like, can I even trust Kelly? I tell her something and immediately she tells the person I was talking about. Yeah, that's kind of what she does. But she tells Kelly, I still want to work with you despite that. And Kelly is like, I need to know, like, was everyone saying you should put me up? Like, even Keanu? And Rachel says, no, not Keanu. But, like, Keanu did want Kelly to go up. Not because he wants her to go, but because he figured that would be the easiest way to get rid of Mickey or Morgan. So Rachel's kind of looking out for Keanu there. But Rachel asks Kelly, how do you feel? Like, how are you feeling about the whole situation? And Kelly's like, well, I love Riley, so I'm going to keep him. And I think Rachel was maybe a little bit surprised about this. I think maybe she was thinking, if I keep Kelly off the block, maybe she'll feel like she owes me a little bit. Maybe she'll vote the way that I want. So Rachel's asking, like, even over yourself? I mean, I didn't put you up. And Kelly's like, oh, it's just all so fresh. Like, I don't know. So the feeds cut out for a little bit. They keep talking. When the feeds come back, Rachel is explaining how she felt like she needed to do this. She needed to put Riley up because Riley said that he is coming for Keanu. And Kelly's like, well, he never told me that. So I don't know. He never told me. So Kelly encourages Rachel to talk to Riley. We'll get there. But anyway, Kelly checks in with Lauren. And Kelly's like, all right, just confirming. You didn't know that Rachel was going to put Riley up as the replacement, right? And Lauren's like, no. She told me that she had to consider all her options. So Kelly is like, well, Rachel just told me that you knew she was going to put Riley up and you chose to take Vince down and throw Riley out. Ooh. So I'm pretty sure Rachel said this to Kelly, like, while the feeds were down, that little feed block moment, because Rachel did continue throughout the day to tell other people that Lauren knew that Riley was going to be the replacement. So Lauren says, I did not. She did not know specifically Riley would be the one going up. And Kelly's like, well, she told me that she told you 1 hour before the ceremony that it was going to be Riley. And Lauren again is saying, no, I mean, she told me that she'd have to consider all of her options, including people close to me. So, like, she did say maybe, but I didn't think. And then Kelly's like, oh, you thought it would be me. And Lauren's like, I didn't want it to be you. Oh, she did. She absolutely was banking on it being Lauren. So Kelly's like, I would have been fine. I would have survived the block. Riley's going to be fine up there. But I just wanted to let you know that Rachel is going to be telling people that you knew Riley was going up. But she tells Lauren, I believe you. Everyone is going to believe you. She says, Rachel's crazy. She needs to go. I've been saying it since week 1. So Lauren again is saying, Rachel said she'd have to consider all her options. I didn't think she'd do that. I didn't think she'd do that. So Kelly is telling Lauren, don't worry, you're so protected. You're going to be fine. So just to clarify too, like, we did not see all of Lauren and Rachel's conversation before the ceremony. The feeds cut before they stopped talking. So Rachel very well could have told Lauren it was going to be Riley, but we did not see that on the live feeds. So Lauren says, if Riley goes home because of me, I'm never going to forgive myself. I hope that Keanu's not going to flip his vote. His vote's going to be very important here. So Kelly's also saying, like, she wants to solidify an alliance. She names off Kelly, Lauren, Vince, Catherine, and Riley. So it's basically Keanu's group that he's been trying to get together without Keanu, without Rachel, but add in Lauren. I'll pass. I will definitely pass. But Vince and Lauren were then chatting in the bathroom, and Lauren's asking Vince, would you keep Riley over Morgan if it's down to the two of them? And Vince is like, of course, I'm going to do whatever you want because you saved my life in this game. You know, the least I can do is vote the way that you want me to. And he's like, I'm always going to make sure that you're protected. Now, Vince's votes is very questionable at this point because he has now promised both Morgan and Riley that he will vote to keep them. So which is gonna be? Because like I'm pretty sure he's got final twos with both. He's been working closely with both. So it's hard to say which way he would actually go, but he could end up being a swing vote this week. So Vince is wondering if Morgan could potentially convince Mickey to throw the blockbuster competition because Mickey seems to think that she has the votes to stay this week anyway. And he says, you know, and then we can vote Mickey out if she's still up on the block. It's wild to me that Mickey thinks she's got these votes locked because I feel like out of the 3 nominees right now, Mickey is the most in danger. I think if Mickey is on that block for the vote, she's gone. Whereas Riley and Morgan, it could go either way right now. It's very close. But Mickey, I feel like, would be gone. And she's the most confident. Well, Riley's pretty confident too. But Lauren, again, is saying she's going to feel terrible if Riley goes. And Vince is telling her, it's not your fault that he's up there. You were just trying to protect your ally, me. So a little later, Keanu is trying to do damage control with Riley. Because, again, like, Keanu's number 1 ally just put up his other number 1 ally. So he doesn't want Riley thinking that he had something to do with this. So Keanu's like, oh, I just want you to know, Rachel only put you up to guarantee that Mickey or Morgan go. And he says, Mickey or Morgan leaving this week is good for us. It's great. And Riley's like, no. Rachel's trying to guarantee that what she wants to happen will happen. He is pissed at Rachel. He says, Rachel didn't give me a heads up. She didn't tell me anything. She told me that I was safe all week. And he says, I'm sorry, but if I win HOH, she's going up. So Keanu says, okay, we're not going to vote you out. We got you 100%. And Riley's like, I was never going to put Rachel up. Or he definitely would have. The week that he won HOH and it was stolen, he was planning on putting up Mickey, Morgan, Ashley, and then Rachel as the 4th nominee. So give me a break. But Riley says to Keanu, I trust you, but you know, your closest ally did just put me up on the block. And I want you to be aware of that woman up there because at one point she wanted your ass out. And Keanu's like, yeah, like obviously before, like we had issues, but we've worked it out. Like she doesn't think that way anymore. And Keanu asks Riley, have you ever told Rachel that you want to be out of here? And Riley's like, hell no, I haven't told anyone that I want you out of this effing house. I didn't say that to anybody. Lies! The lies! Oh my God. Riley has said to so many people that he is not working with Keanu. He wants Keanu out. He would put Keanu up. He has told so many people this. So, yeah. I mean, does Keanu really think that Riley would tell him the truth about that? Come on. But Catherine and Riley are talking in the wine room. And Riley's like, I don't know. Like, I could actually go home, babe. I don't know. And Catherine's upset because Kelly told her that Rachel said Riley is the target now. Again, Kelly taking information from Rachel and immediately spilling it out. She cannot be trusted. But Catherine is crying hard at the thought of Riley leaving. So Riley's like, it's okay. I'm not going home. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. So then Vince and Riley chat a little later. And they are talking about what a dumb move this was from Rachel. Everyone's pissed at her now. She should have just put Ashley up. Yeah, because, like, that's the way it goes, right? You just put your allies on the block. You just do what everybody else wants you to do. That's how you play Big Brother. Just because other people are dumb enough to put up their own allies doesn't mean Rachel's going to do that. Rachel has been around this block before. Rachel has won this game before. So no, she's not going to put up her own allies just because that's what you want. But Vince says that Rachel is now telling people that Lauren knew Riley would be the replacement nominee and that she chose Vince over Riley. So Vince is like, this is so messed up. Rachel's trying to pit us against each other and it's not going to work. And he says, maybe it's worked for her in past seasons, but we're not that effing dumb. So Vince says, if Lauren knew that you were going to be the replacement nominee, there's no shot that she effing uses that veto. No shot. She would have said, Vince has the votes to stay anyway. Let's just leave it as is. So Vince says Lauren clearly was lied to. She thought that Kelly would go up. Everyone thought that Kelly was going up. I don't remember Rachel telling anybody any names about potential replacement nominees. She was keeping that crap under lock and key. But everyone's just assuming it was going to be Kelly. So later, Keanu's asking Rachel again, why did you put Riley up? And he's wondering, like, were you regretting your initial nominees? Were you trying to make it up to Mickey and Morgan? Because he's saying that's what it looks like. Is that what you're doing here? And he says it would have made more sense to put me up than it would to put Riley up. What? Why would Rachel put up one of her closest allies? It just doesn't make sense. I don't get these people. But Rachel is again telling Keanu, Riley would have put you up. He said it to my face. But Keanu can't believe it. He's like, well, he told me he wouldn't do that. So eventually Keanu is telling Rachel in, I have to say, a condescending manner. He's like, I believe that you believe Riley would do that. I think you were looking out for me, but like, I think you kind of like think that you perceive this stuff, but it's not really happening. Oh boy, he really just, he's got a fixed way of looking at things, and if anybody questions him on it, they're wrong. So aside from that bit about Riley saying he would target Keanu, Rachel's giving him a lot of other reasons why Riley should be the one to go. She says he's really well liked in this house. He can win this whole thing. He's a strong competitor. He and Catherine, as a showmance, are a voting block, and not too long from now, they're going to have a lot of power with these votes. Just 2 votes is going to hold a lot of weight. And she says, Riley has lied to my face multiple times. And she also brings up, I have tried multiple times to work with both Riley and Catherine. And I have seen Rachel do this. She has extended that to them multiple times, saying she wants to work with them. And then they give her nothing back. Yeah. She says, for 5 weeks, they have given me nothing. Yeah. So Rachel says, again, I told Lauren that I was considering putting up Riley, and she still made that decision to use the veto. And she tells Keanu, I'm sorry that you don't like the decision I made, but it's a good decision. And Rachel says, if you have a chance to take a shot at a big target, you got to take that shot, because you can't just sit there and say, oh, we're going to go for them at this point. We're going to take them out right at the end. We're going to take them out at the double eviction. No, because you don't know what's going to happen. That person could win a competition and save themselves. Like, you never know what's going to happen. You just have to take the shot when you get the chance. And that is how Big Brother works. Yeah. Listen to the legend. Oh my God. So after this, Keanu's running around like crazy. He's asking Lauren, did Rachel tell you that Riley would go up if you use the veto? And of course, Lauren's like, no, like, she didn't give me a specific name. She said that she had to consider all of her options. She didn't say that. So Keanu's like, well, she's trying to make it seem like you knew and that you did it anyway, which I don't believe at all. I don't believe it. I don't think she's telling the truth about that. So then Catherine chats with Rachel in the HOH room. And Rachel's like, I'm sure you're pretty upset right now, but again, I have to let you know, just like everybody else, that I told Lauren that Riley would go up if she used the veto. And she says, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want Lauren to use the veto. That's why I brought up Riley's name. I was trying to scare her out of using it. I was trying everything I could to change her mind. but she said she still wanted to do it. And when she used the veto, I had to follow through. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to like make a threat like that and then not follow through because then you look very weak. But Catherine seems surprised hearing this information straight from Rachel about Lauren knowing what was going to happen. And Rachel says, I even told Lauren, like, her actions are going to have consequences. So Catherine's like, well, that's like insane for her to do that. If she knew that that was going to happen, I'm going to have to ask Lauren about it. And then she was asking Rachel, did Lauren say why she was still going to use it? And Rachel's like, yeah, she said she wanted to make sure that Vince was going to be safe this week, even though I told her 7 times, 100 times that Vince would have the votes to stay. She says so many people told Lauren that Vince would have the votes to stay, but she would not listen to reason. So they were talking about potentially pulling Lauren in, the 3 of them talking about this together. But Catherine's like, let me just go ask Lauren about it first. Let's see what the deal is. So after that conversation, Catherine asks Lauren about it. Like, did Rachel say that Riley was going to go up? And before she can even answer, Vince, who's also there, was like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Like, there's no way that she said that. There's no way. But I wasn't there, so I'm not going to speak for you. So Lauren says, Rachel did not name anyone specifically, no one name, but she tells Catherine, I would not have done that if I thought that you or Riley would go up on the block. And Catherine's like, I believe you. It's very Mona Lisa Saperstein. I have never done anything wrong in my life. Money, please. And then everyone's enabling her and being like, I know this and I love you, like the dad, Henry Winkler. But after that, a few minutes later, Catherine and Lauren are chatting alone. And Lauren's like, I want to be completely honest with you. Rachel did say Riley's name. What? Oh my God. But she says, I 110% thought that Rachel was bluffing. Oh my God. So after all this, after everything, Rachel has been telling the truth. She told Lauren ahead of time Riley would be the replacement nominee, and Lauren has been lying about it all day. Girl, if you're going to lie about it that much, stick to the story. Don't change it up after a full day of lying. That is wild. I'm wondering if she was getting nervous because the idea of like Catherine, Lauren, and Rachel all in the same room together talking about it, she was just like, oh my God, I'm never going to survive. I'm going to shit my pants. I think she was like, I need to just own up to this with Catherine because the truth is going to come out. But like, girl, you lying all day about it. That's bad. But Catherine's like, okay, I'm not going to blame you, but I do wish that you had taken the threat seriously. And I have to say, oh my God, of course, they are blaming Rachel for actually going through with what she promised. This is all Rachel's fault, not Lauren, who had this information, decided to do what she wanted anyway, and now she's just like, I didn't know she was going to do it. Oh my God. So Catherine is saying it's all going to be fine because Riley's still going to be here on Thursday night, and then we're going to win HOH, and we're going to take out Rachel. Okay. So meanwhile, Riley was talking or not talking to Rachel in the HOH room. There were a lot of really long pauses during this conversation, a lot of silent moments. And like, if you're going to try to play some bullshit mind games with Rachel, she's going to play them right back. She is not going to just try to fill the space with talking. She will sit there quietly with you. But Riley says, I'm disappointed. I'm not happy. I just want you to know that. And Rachel's like, yeah, I didn't want Lauren to use the veto, but she was hell-bent on using it. I felt like I had to follow through on my threat because I said that I was going to put you up if she used it. I was trying to get her not use it. And she tells Riley, I'm sorry. I didn't want this to happen. And Riley's like, okay, well, there was like 7 other people. So 7 other people you could put up. So Rachel says, I only had 1 hour to make a decision. This was purely a game move. Riley says, no hard feelings. So Rachel says, you're going to win the Blockbuster comp. And if not, you're going to have the votes. And she's like, your ally, Lauren. And Riley's like, I don't have any allies in this game, only friends. So Rachel's like, okay, well, if we're not allies, then why are you so surprised that you went up on the block? Ooh, girl, get him. But Riley's like, I trust you 100%. I felt like we were awesome. We were cool. Like, I didn't have to check in with you all the time, blah, blah, blah. You're the reason that I started watching Big Brother. What, 5 minutes before he left for the show? I'm sorry, this dude has not watched Big Brother before this season. He doesn't even know how this works. Like, he doesn't even know how the veto works. He doesn't even know how the winner is chosen. Like, I'm sorry, no. So Riley also starts talking about the kind of man he is and how he was raised right. And that's when I'm out. I'm done with that conversation. I don't need to hear anymore. But yeah, after that combo, he leaves the room and Rachel is looking at the camera and she's just like 1,000-yard stare. And she's like, of course I feel bad about it. No, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. But after Riley is talking to Lauren and Catherine about his conversation with Rachel, and this dude really, he's really painting it. I don't know what conversation he's retelling, but it wasn't the conversation he had with Rachel. He's bragging about how few words he spoke to her. What a weirdo, saying like, I told her I'm pissed and I'm gonna put her up and blah blah blah. He did not say that. Mm-mm. But anyway, also in this conversation, Lauren is explaining how again, like Rachel did mention that you'd be going up, but I thought she was bluffing. I didn't think she was actually gonna do it. So again, Catherine and Riley are telling her it's okay. This is all Rachel's fault. Catherine is saying she did this so that she could blame it on you. She set you up so that she could do this very thing. I think Rachel genuinely did not want Lauren to use the veto. And then when she did, she was like, all right, well, screw you. I'm going to put up one of your allies. Like, that's what it was. That's what it was. And she knew that taking the shot at Riley would be a big move. And she wanted to guarantee that a big move would be made this week. So anyway, yeah, that was all last night. Not much happening so far today. Things have calmed down quite a bit. I'm sure we will get plenty of talks about the vote later because things are like up in the air right now. Like I said earlier, I do think that Mickey is the most in danger out of the three. I think if Mickey is on the block, she's gone because people are done with her. They don't want to work with her. But if it's Riley versus Morgan, that's where things get interesting because they both have people that want to keep them. And it seems like Vince will be a pivotal vote in that situation. And again, he has promised both Riley and Morgan that he would keep them. So very, very interesting. We'll see how it plays out. I think, well, I hope that by tomorrow we'll have a better idea of how those votes would go. But right now, it's a little bit mixed up. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And let's give a big thank you to our super chatters today. Let's see who we got. Oh my God, Anita Nestler, thank you so much for the very, very generous super chat. She says it's nice to catch a live. It's nice to have you here. Thank you so much. And thank you again for being so sweet to us. We really appreciate you. Nomura Rin, thank you so much. She says, will you be doing Survivor episode reviews again? I don't think we're going to be recapping Survivor, but we are still planning on recapping the Traitors. I want to say it's probably starting in January. But yes, we are definitely looking forward to Traitors. But Survivor, I think we're just going to watch it. We're going to watch it and enjoy. And maybe we can talk about it in our Thursday night chats with everybody after the Big Brother season is over. But we need a break. It's too much. But thank you so much. And we hope that you enjoy the next season of Survivor. I'm really looking forward to it. And the fact that it's like the last one before 50 is going to be wild. But thank you again. Sean Davis, thank you so much for the super chat. And he says, Keanu is getting more delusional by the day. He's the number one target and has to win comps in order to stay. The Biggest Loser documentary on Netflix is really good. Oh, that's a separate thing. Okay. I didn't know that there was a documentary about The Biggest Loser. I'm going to have to check that out because I happen to love documentaries. And I remember watching the first few seasons of The Biggest Loser, when it was like first out, and then I kind of dropped off. But I would definitely give that a watch. So thank you for the heads up. And yeah, Keanu, I think part of the issue here with him, like the disconnect, is he's like, wow, I've made it to week 6. Like, this is great. And he's forgetting that a huge part of the reason he's still there is because he has won competitions to save himself. If he stayed up on the block, he was going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, he would have left this past week. He would have left weeks before. But he's forgetting that the only reason he's there is because he won competitions. So once he's up there and he's vulnerable and doesn't win, he's going to be in trouble. So I'm hoping he's going to realize that and like lock in with Rachel, and just like listen to other people because they have better reads than him. But I want to thank you all again so much for being here. I will be back tomorrow for another stream. Oh, wait. Oh, Christina asked, will you do Amazing Race, especially since it's all Big Brother people? My mom and I were just talking about that the other day when we saw the cast, and we were like, we're not really sure yet. We're so excited for the season because it looks like so much fun. We're undecided. It's not a no, but I'm leaning no. I don't know. We have to see. Because, I mean, it's only once a week. It's not that bad. But we'll see. That's a long answer. All right. But thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. We hope you all have a wonderful evening. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.